be seated. Shabbat shalom, and welcome to you online, Kingston Liberal Synagogue, and our friends wherever you are. Shabbat shalom also to Josh's family on the other side of the pond, it's quite early for you, so thank you for waking up so early on a Shabbat morning. Shabbat shalom to your family here, you've got family around, and we have a special guest today as well. Shabbat shalom to you, Rabbi Charlie, forever Rabbi of Kingston. Wherever you work today, you are still our Rabbi. So today, of course, is a very, very special day. It's Josh's bar mitzvah. And I will leave the bima because we need to keep some physical distance here. So I will just be next to him, and I will, what's the word? Give you the floor. Okay. Okay, so Josh, remember the pages and everything.
Oh, okay. When tears of sadness streaks your face, you are not alone. When you feel lost and out of place, you are not alone. When it seems like you can't carry on and everything you do is wrong, you are not alone. When you open your presents on the holiday, you are not alone. When nothing can seem to spoil your day, you are not alone. When it seems like you made it through, but there's no one else to share this feeling with you, you are not alone. You'll never be alone when I'm around. I'll cheer you up when you are down. And whether you're happy or feeling blue, I will always be there for you. So when you feel alone and in the dark, just keep me in your heart, and you will never be alone.
Oh, okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asarim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asar li kal tzaki.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, anoten la yaef koach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavir sheina ma'einei utenu ma me'afi pai.
Which page to go? Page 4.
Page 4. Baruch Shema v'haya haolam baruch hu. We praise you, our God, sovereign of the universe, worshipped by your people, lauded and glorified by those who love and serve you. With songs of praise we extol you and proclaim your sovereignty. So, source of the life of all words, we praise you, sovereign God, to whom all praise is due.
Shema I wish for you to be a person of character, strong but not tough, gentle but not weak. I wish for you to be righteous but not self-righteous, honest but not unforgiving. Wherever you journey, may your steps be firm, and may you walk in just paths and not be afraid. Whenever you speak, may your words be words of wisdom and friendship. May your hands build and your heart preserve what is good and beautiful in the world. May the voices of the generations of our people move through you, and may the God of our ancestors be your God as well. May you know that there is a people, a rich heritage to which you belong, and from that sacred place you are connected to all that dwell on earth. May the stories of your people be upon your heart, and may the grace of the Torah rhythm dance in your soul.
Page 5. Yishtabach Shimcha La'ad Malkeinu Ha'el Hamalech HaGadol V'HaKadosh B'Shamayim U'Va'aretz Ki Lacha Na'eh Adonai Eloheinu V'Elohei Avotenu V'Imotenu She'ashavacha Hallel V'Zimra Barachot V'Hodaot Mata V'Had Olam Baruch Atah Adonai Habocha B'Shirei Zimra.
Please stand.
Praise you, eternal one, our God, sovereign of the universe, maker of light and creator of darkness, author of peace and creator of all things. In your mercy you give light to the earth and all who live on it, and in your goodness you renew creation continually day by day. How manifold are your works, O God! With wisdom have you made them all. The world is full of your creations. Your handiwork proclaims your praise. The radiant stars bear witness to your glory. We praise you, O God, creator of light. Please read together in English.
Great is your love for us, eternal God, and abundant in your compassion. Our ancestors trusted in you and you taught them the laws of life. So be gracious to us and teach us. Incline our hearts to hear your words, to know and understand, to learn and teach, and we love to uphold the truths of your Torah. Enlighten us with your teaching. Make us faithful to your commandments and wholehearted in the love and awe of your name. For in love you summon us to serve you and proclaim your unity. We praise you, O God, the love you have called the people of Israel to serve you.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael Adonai
mitzvotai, v'hitem kadoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, li'yot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 8. Good and beautiful and true, sound, established and enduring are these words, now and forever. The everlasting God is sovereign, the rock of Jacob, the shield of salvation. Eternal God, you redeemed us from Egypt and freed us from the house of bondage. Then with great joy, Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you this song. Shirah Hadashah Shebachu Gulim Leshimcha Al Sfat Hayam Yachad Kulam Hodu V'himlechu V'amru.
Adonai Imloch Le'olam Va'ed Tzur Yisrael Uma Be'ezrat Yisrael Go'aleinu Adonai Tzebaot Shemo Kadosh Yisrael Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael Gal Yisrael Yisrael.
Please stand. Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu V'emotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak V'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel V'Elohei Leah Ha'il Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanorah Elyon Gomer Hasadim Tovim V'konei Hakol V'sochar Hasdei Avot V'mahot Uma V'gula Livnei V'nihem Lema'an Shemo Bahava Melech Ozer Umoshe'ah Umegain Baruch atah Adonai Magin Avraham Bezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechaye Meitim Atah Rav Lahosh Iyah Mashiv Haruach Umorid Hagashem Mazriach Hashem אש ומוריד הטל.
מחלקל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ברופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה.
בנימן אתה להחיות הכל. Baruch atah Adonai mechayei hamatim. We sanctify your name on earth as in the prophet's vision. The hosts of heaven sing your praise above, for so it is written.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzebaot, Melech kol haaretz kavodo.
Kivado mal'eh olam.
Baruch kavod Adonai mimkomo.
Mimkamocha malkeinu tofia v'timloch aleinu ki mechakim anachnu la.
Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohayich Zion, לדור ודור, הללויה.
לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך, לנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד, לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני הקדוש, הקדוש.
Page 12.
ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת, גדול עליונים, המקדש שביעי, המקדש שביעי. ישמחו ויצעקו
I got nothing till page 17.
השביעי,
Nothing. I don't
Eloheinu ve'eleheu avotenu ve'imotenu retzeh ve'mithuchatenu kedeshenu ve'mitzvotecha ve'ten chulekenu v'toretecha savaenu mesuvecha ve'samchenu ve'yishotecha ve'taher libenu la'avdecha be'emet ulachalanu Adonai Eloheinu be'ava u'v'ratzon Shabbat kedushecha ve'enenu va Yisrael mekadesh shimcha Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'am chayisrael utfilatam ba'ahava tekabel utehi l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Eternal God, be gracious to your people Israel, and in your love accept their prayers. May our worship now and always be acceptable in your sight. Baruch atah Adonai she'ot chalvad chabirana avod. We praise you, O God, whom alone we worship in reverence.
מודים אנחנו לך שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו לעולם ועד. סור חיינו מגן ישנו, אתה הוא לדור ודור, נודה לך ונספר תהילתך על חיינו המסורים בידיך ועל נשמותינו הפקודות לך ועל נשיך שבכל יום ומנו ועל נפלותיך וטובתך שבכל עת ערב ובוקר וצהריים ברוך אתה אדוני הטוב שמך לחנל להודות.
We give thanks that you, Eternal One, are our God as you were the God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our life, the power that shields us in every age. We thank and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your keeping, for the signs of your presence we encounter every day, and for your wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. We praise you, O God, source of goodness, to whom our thanks are due.
First reading.
I think some people are not on mute.
So guys who are on Zoom, please can you mute yourself? That's
lov-
interference.
It's lovely hearing you at home.
Later during the kid we should be able to.
Stand up. Be Yourself by Melanie Katz. Be yourself, for you are the only one who truly knows you. The only one who can express your genuine feelings. The only one who can find the sincere meaning of your life. Be yourself, not one who someone else wants you to be, someone whom you do not agree with, someone that is not you. Be yourself. Don't be afraid to show your true colours, to be independent, or reveal to others what you are all about. Be yourself. It does not matter who accepts you and who doesn't, or how many friends you have, for the ones that love you are the only ones that matter. Be yourself. No matter what your race or religion, your gender or age, you should never hide yourself. Be yourself, because groups and cliques deserve no meaning. Diversity and variation have great importance, and there should never be anything holding you back. Be yourself, because everyone serves a purpose. Everyone shines bright, but only you know who you truly are.
Shalom, Torah, chesed v'rachamim. Nasim shalom, Torah, chesed v'rachamim.
We take a few moments for private prayer and meditation. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and redeemer. Wow, thank you. So, Tammy, Emma, thank you for the music. It's not over yet, but I just wanted to take this moment to thank you both for this amazing music and all this energy that you bring to our services. Thank you so much. So now it's the time for the Torah service, which is the moment where Josh will read from the scroll and also present his thoughts. And so I've got a spoiler alert. I've heard everything. I know it's brilliant. So don't worry about that. Huh? So we are on page 15 for a Torah service. Assemble the people, the men and the women and the children and the stranger in your cities to hear and learn to revere the Eternal One, your God, and observe faithfully all the precepts of his Torah. And let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere the Eternal One, your God. Please stand. So, you sit there, and then, yeah, take the scroll, sit.
Just after you guys.
Yeah.
can sit, please. So you just need to have a look. Can you open the scroll?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, put it there, yes.
I'll put that on there as well, because then there's...
Yes.
Oh, you've already got it on, I think.
So we just need to check that it's the right place.
Yes, I think it is.
Okay, brilliant.
I'm just going to leave it like that.
יהבו לקרוא בתורה יהושע בן אברהם וליבה מינדל. So in your booklet you have the reading for today. It's Leviticus chapter 14, verses 33 to 45. No, you know what? Do the reading first. I forgot about it. No, yeah, scroll back. No, roll it back. Sorry, my mistake. I got a bit confused. Scroll it back.
Okay.
And then Josh will give us his Dvar Torah, his word of Torah, all the things that he's learned from the Torah portion. Do you want to go up there, or is it enough? Okay.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this special day, even though virtually. I can't believe that I am now standing on the bimah on my bar mitzvah, a day, to be honest, I was not sure I was going to have. But here I am, and I am proud to be sharing this day with you all. I just wish you could be here in shul with me. Some of you may know that I was not sure about having a bar mitzvah, but after some guidance from my family and also Rabbi René, I'm here. I made it. I also know how much my grandpa wanted for me to have a bar mitzvah, and I know he would be proud of me standing here too, and wearing this talit makes me feel like he is with me. I'd like to say a huge thank you to Rabbi René for helping me with my learning and making this day happen. Thank you to my teachers from Beitenu, especially Josh, for helping me prepare for today. Today I'm having my bar mitzvah. The words bar mitzvah in Hebrew means son of the commandment. Becoming bar mitzvah traditionally was about becoming an adult and taking on the Jewish responsibilities associated with this. However, in liberal communities, no one really thinks that today I suddenly become an adult. Instead, it marks the journey of me confirming my religion, which I hope to continue to do and carry with me as part of my life journey. Over this time, I have learnt more than just the Hebrew and Judaism, which I have, but a life lesson about the effort you need to put in order to achieve things that matter. The portion I am reading from the Torah today in the book of Leviticus, Parashat Tezria Metzorah, is about when God spoke to Moses and Aaron and said, when you go to the land of Canaan, I'll give you a home, and if there will be a plague or disease in your house, if you do not look after it, the house, and clean it, it could be condemned and destroyed. They are told that the priest will visit, and by the time they come back, it must be free from the plague, or the house and its contents shall be sent away. I came to realize that the situation described in this Torah portion is very similar to the one we are living in now. If you had said to me a year ago, stuck in my house, still thinking that COVID is still going on, I would not have known how this portion related to my life. The talk of disease in the house is very similar to the situation of the COVID pandemic that we are living with right now. If we don't follow the rules that are made to keep us safe, it is likely that we will get COVID and it will be passed on within our homes, which will then, if we are not careful, spread beyond. It shows that there has always been threats of disease as well as actual diseases from the beginning of time. Not only has there been COVID in the last year, but over centuries there have been awful pandemics such as the Black Death and the Spanish flu. The things I've learned from COVID and lockdown is that we have to clean ourselves physically and clean ourselves mentally. We must not let the lockdown worry us, and by not seeing friends and family make us feel sad and stressed. We have learned that our well-being is part of keeping us well and safe too. Do you think the brothers Moses and Aaron would have ever imagined that in the future there would be such a pandemic? Would the priests, like in my portion, have said they would come back and make sure it was gone in 7 days? How would they have coped? Throughout the last year, the year of COVID, we have learned to cope and live with it. We have learned that being clean, washing our hands and clothes is more important than ever. And just like in my portion, the house had to be clean, but Moses and Aaron must have had hope that the disease and plague stones would not be taken out and replaced. They surely did not want to keep disease in their house and have their home destroyed. Sadly, many homes have been destroyed, and as too many people have lost family and friends. Other than showing us sadness, this pandemic has also taught us so much about hope and why we must not give up, not to be afraid. Also, it has taught us to realize the true value and importance of friends and family. We must not take anything for granted. We now have the vaccine. It makes me feel happy that my grandparents and parents have had this. Hopefully, it won't be too long until I am able to spend quality time with my grandparents, especially Grandma Carol, who I am sad cannot be here with us today. I know how important this day is to her. But we will see each other properly again and spend quality time together as soon as we can. Now that we are hopeful of an end of lockdown and we can finally all be free again in moderation and make choices where we will be safe, happy and healthy. All Moses and Aaron wanted was to live a healthy life in their house in the land of Canaan, not so different from us and what we all want now.
Mazel tov. Huh? So much wisdom and understanding of this difficult situation and this connection with our Torah portion. Well done, well done. So now it's the next part of your hardship, which is to read from the scroll. Yes. Do you remember how to say the blessing?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. So take the scroll, the yard. Yes, but take it. Yes.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Mvorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'naten lanu et Torah. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. So the translation is in your booklet. You can follow the Hebrew and the English next to it.
Okay, time to go to
Yes.
Yes, we know. V'yadaber Adonai el Moshe va'el Aaron laemor, ki tava'u el eretz Canaan asher ani naten lachem lachuza v'natati nigar zira'at b'veit. Eretz achuzachem uva asher lo habayit. V'higid lakohen laemor kinigar nira'ah li b'bayit. V'tziva hakohen ufinu et habayit. B'terem yavo hakohen lir'ot et hanaga v'lo yitamer kol asher b'bayit. Kol asher b'bayit. Uvacha ken yavo hakohen lir'ot et habayit. V'ra'at et hanaga v'hine hanaga b'kirot habayit. Shekarot yikarakot o had edamad damot v'mara'ihen shafal min hakir v'yatza hakohen min habayit. El petach habayit. V'hiskir et habayit shva'at yamim v'shav hakohen b'yom hashvi'i v'ra'a v'hine shva pisa hanaga b'kir ot habayit. V'tziva hakohen v'haletzo et havanim asher b'hen hanaga v'lishlechu et en el mechutz la'ir el makom tameh. Va'et habayit. Ikse mabayit saviv v'shafachu et ha'afar asher iksu el mechus la'ir el makom tameh. V'lokachu avanim esharot v'haviu el tachat avanim v'afar echa ikach otach et habait va'et yashuv haniga ufarach babait achach halet et avanim v'charei hiksot et habait v'charei hitoach uva hakohen v'ra'ah v'hina pisa haniga babait zra'ah mamaret hiv babait tameh hu v'natet et habait et avaniv va'et siv va'et kol afar habait v'hivotzi el machutz la'ir el makom tameh. Is that it?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I did it.
So say the blessing after.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher naten lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam natah betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Yasher koach. Okay. Who is doing the Agba'ah?
The what now?
Yes. Please stand, and you can sit there, and you will keep. Yeah, you move this, and
Should I close this?
Emily.
Should I close it?
No, because he needs to. You're doing the Agba'ah. No, okay. So you will help dressing it back, okay? Really good.
I need to stay as well. I don't know when they're fixed.
Then you put it on his laps, and then Emily and Lucy, you can help scrolling back.
Baruch Shenatan Torah Le'amo Yisrael B'kedushato.
Please be seated. So now, because we have limited space, and this is very uncomfortable. Yes. But you know, bar mitzvah is supposed to be uncomfortable.
He done it, though.
Yeah, he's done it. Yes, yeah. So, who is reading the blessing before the Haftarah?
Emily.
Emily, okay.
I'll dress the Torah.
So you dress the Torah. Okay. So you can say, and you sing you're reading the Haftarah. Yes, okay. I hope so. That's what she told me, but Lucy told me.
Yeah, you're right.
Did you tell your husband that it was
Yeah, he's even practiced.
He's in
That's what Mum, this bit's not on.
Oh, it's fallen off.
Should I read the blessing?
Yeah, oh gosh.
Oh, you've got to read it. You've got to read it.
Should I do it?
Yeah, it's a shake.
I don't know when to read. Should I read that? Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher baha b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza b'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah uvusher avdo uvisrael amo uvinvi'e ha'emet Pfterzel.
Where's my reading?
This is why you need a rabbi. Yeah?
Where's my book?
So,
We have a booklet.
Where's my book?
did you have your text?
Stephen, it's on your...
You're so
over there.
You are so unprepared. So. So Lucy.
Which bit?
It's in your booklet, the little one.
Stephen,
in the
you can
little.
take your mask off when you're
Stephen,
reading.
it's in the little booklet.
Why is it in the little Bible?
That you're going to have this one. Move over, turn it over.
To when?
To the end.
There, to there.
Yeah.
To seven. Okay,
Keep going until it finishes.
I'll do that. Thanks. Right. A man came from Baal Shalisha, and he brought the man of God some bread of the first reaping, 20 loaves of barley bread, and some fresh grain in his sack. And Elisha said, "Give it to the people, and let them eat." His attendant replied, "How can I set this before 100 men?" But he said, "Give it to the people, and let them eat. For thus said the Eternal, they shall eat and have some left over." So he set it before them, and when they had eaten, they had some left over, as the Eternal had said. Naaman, commander of the army of the king of Aram, was important to his lord and high in his favour, for through him the Eternal had granted victory to Aram. But the man, though a great warrior, was a leper. Once, when the Arameans were out raiding, they carried off a young girl from the land of Israel, and she became an attendant to Naaman's wife. She said to her mistress, "I wish master could come before the prophet in Samaria. He could cure him of his leprosy." Naaman went and told his lord just what the girl from the land of Israel had said. And the king of Aram said, "Go to the king of Israel, and I will send along a letter." He set out, taking with him 10 talents of silver, 6,000 shekels of gold, and 10 changes of clothing. He brought the letter to the king of Israel. It read, "Now when this letter reaches you, know that I have sent my courtier Naaman to you, that you may cure him of his leprosy." And when the king of Israel read the letter, he rent his clothes and cried, "Am I God to deal death or give life, that this fellow writes to me to cure a man of leprosy? Just see for yourselves that he is seeking a pretext against me." When Elisha, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel had rent his clothes, he sent a message to the king. "Why have you rent your clothes? Let him come to me, and he will learn that there is a prophet in Israel." So Naaman came with his horses and chariots and halted at the door of Elisha's house. Elisha sent a messenger to say to him, "Go and bathe 7 times in the Jordan, and your flesh shall be restored, and you shall be clean." But Naaman was angered and walked away. "I thought," he said, "he would surely come out to me, and would stand and invoke the Eternal his God by name, and would wave his hand toward the spot and cure the affected part. Are not the Armana, the far part of the rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? I could bathe in them and be clean." And he stalked off in a rage. But his servants came forward and spoke to him. "Sir," they said, "if the prophet told you to do something difficult, would you not do it? How much more when he has only said to you, 'Bathe and be clean'?" So he went down and immersed himself in the Jordan 7 times, as the man of God had bidden, and his flesh became like a little boy's, and he was clean. Returning with his entire retinue to the man of God, he stood before him and exclaimed, "Now I know that there is no God in the whole world except in Israel, so please accept a gift from your servant." But he replied, "As the Eternal lives whom I serve, I will not accept anything." He pressed him to accept, but he refused. And Naaman said, "Then at least let your servant be given 2 mule loads of earth, for your servant will never again offer up burnt offering or sacrifice to any god except the Eternal. But may the Eternal pardon your servant for this. When my master enters the temple of Rimmon to bow low in worship there, and he is leaning on my arm so that I must bow low in the temple of Rimmon, when I bow low in the temple of Rimmon, may the Eternal pardon your servant in this." And he said to him, "Go in peace."
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, so kol haolamim sadiq v'chol hadorot ha'el haneman ha'amer v'oseh ha'medabar kayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek.
19.
Eternal God, whose dominion has embraced the universe, we ask your blessing for the royal family, for those who govern our country, and all who influence the quality of its national life. Make them conscious of their responsibility and teach them to exercise it in accordance with your will. May we all help to fashion in this country a society that excels in freedom and justice, tolerance and compassion, so that it may be a force for righteousness and peace in the life of humanity.
May the one who blessed our ancestors bless all our brothers and sisters of the house of Israel who enter synagogues to pray and to give aid to those in need. May the Holy One, to whom all praise is due, hear their prayers and help them fulfill their aspirations for good. Eternal God, our rock and Redeemer, grant blessing to the state of Israel, which was created to fulfill an age-old dream and to be a haven for the oppressed. Inspire its leaders and citizens with faithfulness to the aims of its founders, to develop the land to the benefit and for the benefit of all its inhabitants, and to implement the prophetic ideals of liberty and justice. May they live in harmony with one another and in peace with their neighbours, and cause to come true once more the ancient vision.
Tetze Torah, ki mitzion tetze Torah, udvar Adonai mirushalayim.
Please stand. You stand as well. Behold, a good doctrine has been given to you. Do not forsake it. It is a tree of life to those who hold it fast, and all who cling on it, to it find happiness. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace.
I was going to say something.
Okay.
Was I? Okay. Where's the camera? Up there. Oh, yes, sorry. I'm not going to take too much time, but all I wanted to say was, firstly, thank you to everybody who's come here today to support Joshua. It is really, really lovely in these very, very strange times to have you all here with us. No, it means a lot to Joshua. It means a lot to Lucy and I as well, so thank you all very much for coming. And then I just want to say something very quickly about Josh, because I know he's slightly embarrassed, and I don't want to prolong that for him. But all I wanted to say was, on behalf of Lucy and I, if I'm allowed to speak on behalf of my wife as well, is just how incredibly proud we are of him. For all the hard work that he's put in, all the dedication he's put in. It's not been the easiest of times for him. He's found it very challenging, but he's shown great dedication and great perseverance. And we're proud of him today, we're proud of him every day. But today is a good way to acknowledge that publicly, and just how impressed we've been with his learning and his approach to it as well. So just wanted to say huge congratulations to you, Joshie. Well done. You're almost out the other side. If you can just hold on for a few more hours. But that's it. So that's all I'd like to say. But thank you.
Gratefully, we thank you for the joyous privilege of seeing our son attain this milestone. On this day, cherished dreams and hopes are fulfilled. On this day, new dreams and new hopes are born. We give thanks for the wondrous privilege of seeing our son grow day by day, week by week, year by year, for the health and strength you have given him, for the mind and spirit for which you endowed him, for his ability to elicit and return love. For all these precious gifts, we thank you. Watch over him, O God, on this special day and every day. Grant him a growing understanding of the true significance of this occasion and a deepening loyalty to everything which it represents. May the teachings of our heritage guide him throughout life, and may he lead a life worthy of your blessing. Amen.
Amen. Josh, today you have come here surrounded by your family, your friends, and your community, and struggling to keep first quote. But that's part of being Jewish. Struggling, wrestling is part of being Jewish. And I'm consciously taking my time here. We share these prayers we have for you, knowing that you have the ability to make all your hopes and dreams come true. May you be blessed with patience and compassion, supporting justice and righteousness. May your Judaism not be something only inherited, but something to be discovered. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob, Leah and Rachel, bless Joshua, who having reached the age of bar mitzvah, has come up to read from the Torah. And now it's your turn.
Yes, I can see. In the presence of this congregation, which represents the Jewish people all over the world, I give thanks for what I've learnt of my Jewish heritage and promise to go on studying it in the years ahead. So may I come to understand it ever more deeply and carry out more fully the duties that flow from it. I think of all those who in past ages have preserved the Jewish faith and declared their loyalty to it, as I do today. I thank my parents and my family, my teachers and my friends, and all who have helped me reach this day. And I pray to God, guide me and keep me strong, so that I may fulfill the high hopes that rest on me. Amen. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, who has kept us alive, sustained us, and enabled us to reach this new time.
So how's your back, Josh?
Painful.
It's painful. Good. No pain, no gain, as they say. So Shabbat Shalom. The truth is, Josh, you double portion today. Tazria Metzora is certainly not the easiest of all. Huh? I need my glasses, actually. Sorry, guys. Where are they? Aging is a wreck. Yes. So you have detailed list of bodily ailments, rashes, colorations, and I spared you emissions and secretions. You don't want to go there, but are associated with ritual impurity. And it's really not the stuff of religious inspiration in modern times. And also the notion of disease as some sort of punishment contradicts what we know today of medicine. It is not always simple for us to understand a world where people and things were divided between pure and impure, sacred and profane, and yet, for the people who lived in the time of the book of Leviticus, this all made sense. These rules for them ascertain exactly what distinguishes us from God. We must eat and drink in order to live, and we must make babies to keep humanity going. As a consequence, we experience physical corruption and death. Conversely, God does not need food. God is eternal, and there is no need for reproduction. Finally, being incorporeal and eternal is a great theology here. God does not suffer from physical corruption and death. These categories of pure and impure, sacred and profane make sense then. It is as if we were called to strive to be a better person, to look at what we are doing wrong and to try to correct it. Nowadays, when people get ill, they assume it's because of a germ or a virus, or sometimes a bad habit like smoking. But in ancient times, when people got sick, they thought they had done something wrong. Disease was seen as a direct consequence of moral wrongdoings. As I said, they didn't have our medical knowledge, and human beings have always tried to understand what was happening to them and try to find solution and explanation, even if later generations would overthrow them. It is not surprising to learn that ancient sages explained the affliction of tzaraat, the one that you talked about, tzaraat, which is a skin disease that some people have identified as leprosy, as a result of motzi shem ra, tzaraat motzi shem ra, which means raising a bad word or saying bad things about other people. You could say that motzi shem ra is gossip. Gosh, we love a good gossip, but as I will explain now, it's really not a good thing. So in Hebrew, there are other words for that. Leshon hara, the bad tongue. Rechilut, tale-bearing. And for us, it's a very, very big deal. It means insults, ridicule, and jest, denigrating a person, commenting on someone's body or life or medical history. Even if it's true, the Jewish tradition forbids it. You may think, hold on, everybody gossips. That's true. And sometimes we even enjoy bad-mouthing about other people. But here is the problem. Words are very powerful. Remember that God created the world with words, but they can also be a source of humiliation. And the Talmud says that humiliating someone in public is equal to shedding blood. So this is how serious it was for them. So I found a very interesting teaching from the Maharal of Prague. The Maharal, also known as Rabbi Judah Löw, lived in the 16th century, and is the one, who created the golem, this kind of Frankenstein, who was supposed to protect the Jews. He made a figure of clay, and he put God's name, and the golem would, come to life and protect the Jewish community. But it's not about that. He taught, consider the Hebrew word for language, lashon. The first letter, lamed, points upward to remind us that language can bring us to the heavens. But the last letter, nun, which is the final nun, points downward to remind us that language can sink us into the abyss. And I think it's a very interesting lesson to remember when we use social media, where communication is much faster than it used to be before. Josh, I can't even imagine how your world will look like in 30 or 50 years. I can't imagine that. And I mean how people will communicate then, you know. But I'm pretty sure that this teaching about the power of words will be as relevant then that it is today. And I've been thinking a lot about what you said in your Dvar Torah. You were not sure if you wanted to do it, and I remember we had a nice cup of coffee, and we had a nice chat about it, and we asked you, do you remember, we asked you to trust us. And here you are today. And how brilliant Josh was today. You all agree with me. There's always something that happens. Gosh, always something that happens on the bima. It's a transformational moment. You become someone. I mean, the person you haven't changed. You haven't weeks or whatever. But you became the adult Josh that you have in you. And it's just, I mean, for us rabbis. I mean, Charlie can say this with me. It's such a privilege to see a bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah. Emily, not so long time ago, you were in the same spot with Rabbi Charlie. You know, something is really happening there, and you make us so proud of the whole process. And I'm so glad. You know, sometimes it's important in life to say, okay, I'm not sure why I'm trusting you, but I'm going to trust you. You know, you can't trust everybody, of course, but you know. Your parents and your rabbi. I mean, if you don't trust your rabbi, what's left? You have to trust your rabbi here. Yes, now, you and I, we have a mission. We discussed it, I don't know if you remember that. We discussed it in one of our discussions. We have a mission which is to convince you, Mom, to have a bat mitzvah. So that's exactly our mission now. So next Dodds bat mitzvah will be Lucy bat mitzvah. But you know, can you imagine here on the bima, Lucy, with her children, a husband, having a bat mitzvah? You all agree with me? So, okay, it's all, so we need to set a date, and then it's Exactly. Yeah. So my only question, we will be stressed for you. Who will stress for you? Who will do the stress thing? So, Josh, it's been such a privilege and a pleasure to see you literally blossom during this process. I know that you teachers, or some of them are watching us today, and Josh Vugenig, who taught you for your bar mitzvah, are all very, very proud of you. And, you know, it just makes my day. And I wanted to thank you for allowing us as a community to have such a joyful and important moment together. Thank you. Okay, so you know what we do now? We sing Siman Tov and Mazel Tov, okay? Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Yeah, yes. Elanu. Do you want to do the chair? Elanu, Elanu. Nobody wants to do the chair anymore. Elanu, Elanu. Pour lechol Israel. Elanu, Elanu. Pour lechol Israel. Elanu, Elanu. Pour lechol Israel. So I guess if we do the chair, we're going to break so many safeguarding rules and COVID rules, but, you know, that would be nice, huh? Yeah, at home, yeah. Right, so... So before we end our service, in Judaism we really value all the emotions we can have in life. So we have a big simcha now with you, having a bar mitzvah. But we also remember generations past, people who are no longer with us. And today we want to remember your grandfather, David Bishop. And we also want to remember for KLS, it's a yard side, this week is the yard side of Amy Tendall, the mother of Beryl Smith, Edith Ellis, the mother of Betty Ellis, Sophie and Paul Harris, the parents of Helen Green and Pauline Freeman, Sidney Cohen, the father of Joe Humphrey. And I think we will also, as a country, I mean, I'm including myself in it now, because my application to citizenship is almost done. We also want to think about the Please stand. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'emoteinu, bachenu b'bracha meshuleshet haktuva b'Torah, our God and God of ancestors, bless us with threefold benediction of the Torah. Yevarech Adonai v'shmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God look kindly upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God reach out to you in tenderness and give you peace. And let us say, Amen. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. So for the Kiddush, Lucy was really, really well organized. So she prepared individual cups with, what is it, wine or grape?